Hi, everybody. My name is Eric Russo with the Comedy Film Festival. I am joined today by a whole bunch of amazing filmmakers and actors with our sketch block here, A Little Sketch, which is happening Sunday, April 27th at 12:30 at Galaxy Highland Theater as part of the Comedy Film Festival. I'm going to kind of go around, introduce everybody, their role in the film, and give us a little synopsis. So Tyler, let's start with you. You had Grandma Edith for this block, but I know you've also actually have another project. Tell us a little bit about Grandma Edith and your role with it.
Grandma Edith was a short sketch I wrote and directed, and it's part of a larger project that Katherine and I actually are spearheading together called The Writer's Room, which is a sketch comedy web series that takes you through the process of the writer's room into the sketch that eventually becomes.
That's awesome. And I feel like perfect segue that you just set up for Katherine. So Katherine, in addition to the writer's room, you also have a really fun sketch aptly titled Dr. Pepper Movie Trailer.
Yeah, 3 guesses on what it's about. I wrote it, directed it. It's featured in, I don't know, episode 4 of the Writers' Room, maybe. It's a movie trailer biopic parody of the creator of Dr. Pepper, my favorite drink.
When I saw that come through, I was like, okay, it's going to be hard not to program Dr. Pepper movie for Texas. Like, that's our state drink, like we love that. So
I knew my niche.
There you go. Also joining us, we've got both Wanetah and Jason from Jackpot. Tell us a little bit about the project.
Hello, I'm Wanetah.
I'm Jason.
And I'm the writer, director, actor in Jackpot, and Jason is the actor, camera ops, cinematographer, if you will, extraordinaire for Jackpot. Jackpot is the first 12 minutes of a couple hitting the lottery and the chaos that ensues.
Yeah, we shot it in one take, and it was a lot of fun, and can't wait for you guys to see it.
Awesome. I'm really excited about it. Jackpot is actually one of our encore screenings, so we'll be able to watch it not only on opening night, but also as part of this block as well. We're really excited about it. Keeping it going, we have Stephanie with Aging Millennial. This is a really fun little project. Tell us a little bit about it, Stephanie.
Yeah, so I wrote and directed and acted in it with some of my friends who are also aging millennials, and it's just like a fun observation of how we are no longer maybe as hip and with it as we think we are compared to the younger generations coming up.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly relatable. It's great, and it's also like the other thing I really love about it is, and I don't know how intentional it is, we'll get to it here in a little bit, but it's also a micro short. If I remember correctly, it's like less than a minute.
Yeah, it's super short. It's very, very short.
It's really awesome. And I think it ties to what we'll talk about in a little bit about like kind of going into these projects, like just like trying to accomplish some stuff. But keeping it going, we are joined by both Dylan and Bryan Larkin with a Cake Odyssey. Cake Odyssey, as it sounds like, is a little bit of an indie epic, I would call it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Perfect. So good to meet everyone. My name is Dylan Larkin. I'm the co-writer and director and actor of Cake Odyssey.
I'm Bryan Larkin. I'm the actor and co-writer.
Basically just the classic story of getting your father a cake for his birthday, except it was actually his birthday when we premiered it for him. And instead of getting him a gift, we made him a film. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It was basically done in a week. That's how long we had to make it. And the comedy is just tailored within our household, everything he finds funny. And it was definitely an experience and just a real good time to make it.
So we are also joined by an Austin filmmaker, Jeff Walsh, with a duffel bag full of Cobras. I think if you hear that title and you're not excited about it, then something's wrong. So Jeff, tell us a little bit about it without giving too much away.
Yeah, so I'm Jeff Walsh. I wrote and directed and edited A Duffel Bag Full of Cobras. Basically, the premise is two aspiring game board creators find a duffel bag full of cobras, and they take it from there.
It's, I mean, like I said, I think it just kind of the premise itself is, it just lends itself to so much potential. And then as the twists and turns go, you're still like, oh, wow, I didn't see it going here. So excited for everybody to see it at the fest. So kind of in a similar way, we've got another film that starts off being very much one thing and then takes a sharp left turn, and that's You Can't Write This Stuff. Christian, tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah, okay, so I wrote and directed and edited this one. It's just like a really silly short I made with my friends, and it's about a guy who tells a story at a party and it bombs, and then another guy comes in and tells a better story, and he just leaves the party full of rage and jealousy, determined to write something better than his friend, and it gets a little crazy when he gets home. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, that's gets a little crazy is an understatement for sure. And yeah, it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to watch that in a theater of people, because I can't wait for their reaction. So speaking of a live theater audience, Delaney, you have a short film that takes a very public, very personal kind of action, and then takes a little twist on it with Speak Now. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I'm the writer-director, and it's a sketch in the style of I Think You Should Leave, and the premise is basically Melanie, who's the bride-to-be, is planning on having the best night of her life at her wedding, but will it be ruined by a guest's unexpected flatulence?
Well, I think this is what's really exciting is these are just some of the shorts, sketches that are playing during this blog. And obviously it's incredibly diverse, from, you know, what the topics are to the lengths. And one of the most exciting things for me, and I think this is true about sketch in general, is there's almost, and especially y'all's sketches, there's almost a defiance that I felt. And like, we're going to make something, we're going to get people together, we're going to shoot something, and we're going to just make this happen no matter what, no matter the budget. So I want to start with Stephanie, because I think we're like almost about to start talking about that. So talk to me about Aging Millennials, because with with what you're saying, with what I watched, I loved it. It's so relatable, and I think that spirit is there. And then I want to hear from other folks as well on this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an aging millennial, so obviously it speaks close to something I'm going through. And it just started as a series of blackouts, or basically just these one-liners. And so we strung them together. I had some different friends and characters that I was like, this is easy enough to shoot. You know, everyone just basically has one or two lines that explains something about what identifies them as maybe this genre or age group that isn't as relatable anymore. And so, yeah, that's how it started and how it kind of just developed. It's just an idea about something that I was experiencing. And then, like I said, it was just short and quick with a lot of one-liners and was easy enough to shoot. So we thought, why not?
And I guess one of the things that I have the question on this is, like, with that group of people, how did you meet them? How did they get involved? Like, what was the connection point with it?
So some of them are friends of mine that are actors, and then some of them were just friends that were available. So, I came in and said, well, we're going to shoot it this weekend. This is the weekend I have available. Who's around? I asked my actor friends first, and then from there just reached out to other friends that were around.
So Katherine, kind of similar, similar questions here, and obviously I think this will tie into to Tyler's short as well. Talk us a little bit about, and Tyler, feel free, y'all can kind of go back and forth a little bit here, like the collaboration that y'all have, with the writer's room, with these sketches, and again, when I say like that kind of like defiance, and when I'm talking about like not letting anything hold you back, I mean it 100% as a compliment. I think that whether it's technology or budget or just putting obstacles in our way, we constantly find a reason not to do that kind of stuff. And with these sketches and with the writer's room in general, it just feels like y'all are like pushing through it. So I'd love to hear from y'all about kind of that process and working together.
I hate to speak for Tyler, but I will. I think, the writer's room was born a little bit out of, we had been on like some virtual teams together. We had been like making stuff, but didn't necessarily feel like total agency over what we were doing. And, it was maybe like some people were remote and stuff. So we wanted to really make something where we had the creative control. And so, that's kind of where the writer's room came from. And then like with Dr. Pepper in particular, it had been like my baby for a long time. Like I had just really loved that script, and I had talked myself out of making it for a long time. Like I thought, I don't have the budget. I don't have like the production know-how, cause I needed it to be set in like an 1800s pharmacy. And I was like, I can't do that. Like I have to wait until someone agrees to make this for me. And then finally I thought, let's just do it. And we did. So, yeah.
Yeah, she rented out a bar in Midtown to get Dr. Pepper shot. What bar were we above? We were above like a Chinese restaurant or something shooting that.
Yeah, I think it was called like Diamantes. It's like a speakeasy themed bar, so it kind of had the right vibe to it.
Yeah. But no, I completely agree. We were on various sketch teams where we weren't able to do exactly what we were envisioning all the time. So there was definitely a level of desperation involved in getting the project on its feet. And then another thing we came across that like we sort of plowed through in spite of was scheduling. So in the writer's room segments, you see the whole show. We change our clothes throughout each writer's room segment, but it was all shot on the same day. So after an episode, I just tied my hair up and took off my glasses, and we shot one there, and then I changed my shirt, put my hair down. And even in Grandma Edith, I couldn't get all the actors together scheduled on the same day. So you see a dialogue sketch between Grandma and her two granddaughters. And those actresses to this day have never met because they all came in on separate days. There's a lot of actors in writer's room who have still never met to this day.
That's really wild. That's wild. So, okay. Kind of that idea of working in sketch, that's something that I think is very prevalent, not only in y'all's project. It kind of feels like there's, obviously we are in a sketch block with this. It's kind of all throughout. Delaney, I'm going to throw it back to you. You mentioned, I think you should leave, which I can definitely see that influence. Obviously, Katherine and Tyler were talking about being on sketch teams. Is that something that you also had some experience with, or you're just like, I'm just going to try my hand at this?
Yeah, I have a background in stand-up comedy. And so I think through that, in this day and age, it's so important as a stand-up comedian to have an online presence. And so I started to dabble in more like Instagram reel sketches. And from that, I really just got inspired to try to make sketches more cinematic without ever like dampening a laugh, because I think sometimes people are afraid to shy away from like beautiful shots in sketch comedy because it's like not needed. It can be very flat and still get the laugh. So that's kind of been my focus these last couple months, is trying to make sketches that are still really funny but have like a more cinematic read to them.
And something that I really love that you mentioned there was this, comedians having an online presence and, using that as an advantage, and not letting technology be any kind of barrier. And Wanetah and Jason, y'all do such an amazing job in Jackpot with exactly this. talk a little bit about like leaning into that kind of form. It's there in the story as well, and the collaboration that y'all had together.
Yeah, well, Wanetah wrote an incredible script, and we were trying I'm a king of complicating things and trying to overdo it and get all the camera crews and everything, and we tried all of that, and it just, for the type of story we wanted to tell, we wanted to really keep this simple, and we said, you know what, why don't we just simplify this and do it on an iPhone and make it as bare bones as possible, just her and I coordinating the camera, where we're going to place it, where we're going to pick it up, and how we do this dance throughout the entire film. And that really was a lot of fun, because we really treated it a lot like theater in that regard. It was one continuous shot for the bulk of the film. And so it just eliminated a lot of complications, even though it sounds like it would be more complicated, but because it was just her and I, made it a lot more fun to do.
Yeah, I love this question. I love the theme of like, what does it take, and no matter what, because I think that as a filmmaker, it's so unique of a plight for that kind of artist, because when you're a musician, you can just sit with your instrument and play, and you're a musician. An actor loves an audience, but I don't necessarily need that, right? But when you're a filmmaker, it's like, oh, well, now I need thousands of dollars. And I think that really just cripples the artist, especially just emerging. And then in the short film space, I've seen a lot of short films, and some are great, but most of them are just like packing in this story that is it's just so much, or it's like a cinematographer's calling card, where it's like, I'm going to show you a bunch of beautiful shots, but the story is not really there. And, I've talked about this before, but I made a really expensive short film, and it was gorgeous. And the cinematographer has gone on to win an Emmy and, all kinds of things. But I would never do it again. And it's just, nothing against that. But I just think that at the stage that I'm in, I want to tell a great story, and I don't want any gatekeepers. I have enough of that as an actor, So I thought it was really important, and it was kind of meta because of what our story is about, and to kind of look back and see how we shot it and the experience that we gave ourselves. It was kind of like in both scenarios, we ended up realizing that we already had everything that we needed, and that it was even better off for us given those parameters, in our creativity and in our life.
So one quick follow-up on that. Have y'all continued to make these types of short films on your iPhone, or do you plan to?
I definitely plan to. I mean, I think that Jason is so technically capable. The thing that stops us is that he doesn't love it. Like, he doesn't love, but he, like I mentioned, he's half computer. I always say I'm half Korean, he's half computer. Like, he's just so techy, and that's brilliant for me because I'm not, and he always has the skills that I don't have, and vice versa. But I think that what we got from the iPhone was pretty impressive. Like, we didn't color it or anything like that. Did we? We didn't color it.
No, we didn't do
Well,
much of that, but I think we definitely would do more of that now that we saw what we could create, and it just eliminated the barriers. And I recommend everybody try it if you haven't already. We have decent cameras, but it was just much easier to just hit record and watch the playback right on the same thing.
Yeah, we would have been injured on set had we had like that much crew and like an actual camera. You know what I mean? Like, even with our little Sony, we couldn't throw that thing around. So we knew that it had to be bare bones, and we wanted the audience to come with us and it to feel really chaotic, and just be free on set. So that, to me, it just opens up a lot. And then to think about, all the accessories that you could use with an iPhone, because before, when we were looking at iPhone movies, there was a lack of cinematography, like just a lack of composition in a way. But now you can just do so much. And Jason loves like the new media form, and you know, so I don't think that's ever going to stop me at all.
That's fantastic. And I think the really exciting thing is just hearing about the collaboration between you two. And on that note, Dylan and Bryan, I'd love to throw it to y'all, hear about this kind of collaboration, because I have 5 siblings and I've tried collaborating with a few of them before. We're just, you know, I work solo is what I found out when it comes to siblings. So talk to me a little bit about this kind of collaboration. You mentioned a little bit about like, and I picked up on it, you know, watching it, like there are a lot of inside jokes, but they're just broad and relatable enough to like anyone gets them. So tell us a little bit more about making this and this process.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've been making stuff our whole lives. The collaboration kind of started a long time, really early, on like the most stupid projects, right? Whatever. This was kind of like the first time where like we made something that we embodied ourselves. Like we were playing ourselves, our fathers, like the goal, the cake is the goal here. It was a lot of our real lives, and it was definitely a relief. The only thing I didn't like was that I thought of the idea like last minute, so we had a little bit of not a lot of time to make it, but you know, it's definitely like a blueprint for something more. You know, I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, I just think like creatively we're really on the same wavelength, like our sense of humor, our like style of film. And yeah, I think, and this goes back to like all the films we made, that like the collaboration just kind of clicks between us, and we're like really happy with what we're able to do.
So it sounds like you all plan on continuing to make projects together. It's been going on. You made this and still keep making stuff.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more I think we can explore, and you know, I'm still getting better with everything, but you know, I love it. He loves it too. It's like we can come to we both study at Penn State right now. We're both like in our apartment. And you know, in a college environment, you know, like the one thing that really brings everyone together is creating. And when we can make time to be creative together, that's like honestly what I value the most. You know, like that's honestly the best I can ask for.
So Jeff, I want to throw it to you and hear a little bit more about a duffel bag full of Cobras, because if I remember correctly, this is a little bit of a team effort behind this as well. So tell me a little bit about like the crew that you're working with for this, kind of where this originated, and just a little bit more about the project.
Yeah, so basically everybody involved in the film, we kind of shoot and put things out under Backyard Boys. So this is our latest Backyard Boys movie, but we've done a lot of sketches, shorts. We did a couple longer, like feature length ones over the years. So yeah, this was kind of the latest one, but it's a, you know, crew of 6, 7 of us with some friends and some other people who, yeah, just kind of whenever we can find the time, we'll try to put it to making something. So yeah.
That's great. And so how did you all get connected? Because I'm always curious about that. You know, when you've got that solid of a crew that's constantly making stuff, like what was the starting point?
Yeah, so myself and the main actor, who's Randall in the movie, we actually met at Austin Community College taking film classes, and we've kind of just became friends and kept up over the years. The other main actor is Tommy, who I've known since we were 9 years old, and we've just been making films over the years since we were that age. So just kind of kept up with the passion with you know, acting and filmmaking, and just always trying to get better and make better things. And then one of the other characters, Dravid in the film, him and I have been in a band together for about 10 years. So he also makes his own short films and things. So he just has the same passion. But yeah, we all just kind of met as friends and then shared the passion for filmmaking, and specifically with comedy filmmaking. So yeah, it just kind of clicked for us, and just something we enjoy doing.
That's really cool. And I mean, it's, I think we can all relate to that of like, it's hard enough to find collaborators when it comes to film, but to have somebody, you know, kind of like what Dylan and Bryan were just saying, that have like the same sensibilities and that you can keep, you know, working with them, especially through the scope of comedy, like that's really special. So that's exciting to me. You know, obviously we heard from Katherine and Tyler about that earlier, and we'll see more of that with the writer's room. I'd love to hear from Christian a little bit more about You Can't Write This Stuff. So similar kind of question. It feels like there's, I don't know, I just picked up that there might be like a kind of like cohesive crew there. Everyone just seemed really comfortable with each other. I think especially for some of the jokes that y'all go out there and some of the reactions, it's like, okay, these people have been working together before, because this is hard for a comedian to do around somebody that they've never been around.
Yeah, you definitely picked up on that. All these people that helped me make it and the guys in the film, the kind of the main like snarky dickhead guy is my best friend from when I was a little kid. We used to play baseball together. Then the other like maniac at the computer guy is a dude I went to film school with. So we're up in Canada. I went to film school in Ontario, which is on the East Coast. And right after film school, me and my whole crew moved to Vancouver, which is on the West Coast. And we kind of got here and we all lived together in the Green Stoop, this house up here. And kind of like shared money and shared resources and tried making stuff together, and then kind of all parsed out into different aspects of the film industry. So we're always working, and that's kind of, you mentioned earlier, like the defiance or like the punk ethos of these kind of comedy short films. And that is like a burning thing inside of me. I'm always working on these big, stupid studio things, and it just gets frustrating. There's too many limitations. So it's so fun to just get your buddies together on a weekend and be like, look, I know this script is stupid, guys, but just help me. Let's shoot it. Come on. And then see where it goes from there.
That's fantastic. I love it. And I mean, there's something, you know, again, like really special about people who will hear you pitch that and then say, okay, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So I'm really happy that y'all are all working together. That's really cool. So as we start to wrap things up, I know that we're going to have a number of people on this call that will be joining us in Austin, but I always like to give the opportunity to kind of, you know, go around and kind of hear either about new projects or things that people would like to call out, you know, draw attention to on social media, projects. So let's start with Stephanie. Anything, you know, do you have a YouTube channel, Instagram that you'd like us to check out?
Sure, yeah, I have a website. It's just stephaniehpurcell.com. And you can see all of my recent work as well as some of my past passion projects.
And obviously for Katherine and Tyler, I know that we've got the writer's room, but I'll throw it back to y'all if you all want to shout anything else out.
Yeah, Writer's Room is based on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com @Writer's Room Show, you can check out the whole series there. You can find me at tylerjoakley.com or on Instagram @TylerJokes. That's @TylerJoaks, because my last name's Oakley. That's what I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm at katherineisfunny.com or at katherineisfunny on Instagram. Katherine spelled the right way, and yeah.
Okay, that's a nice little jab there as well at all the other Katherines who are doing it wrong. Jeff, you mentioned a little bit earlier about Backyard Boys. Obviously, you know, this is one of the latest projects. Do y'all have some other stuff? Are there any other channels that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so all of our tags and everything are Backyard Boys TV. That's our YouTube and Instagram and everything. Right now, we're kind of tossing up a couple ideas to possibly get filming soon. So yeah, just kind of working on scripts and going through a few things. And then several of the members in the film are actually working on this full-length CG movie that should be coming out probably end of the year, by next year. But it's looking really cool. So yeah, that's something else to look out for.
That's great. Delaney, so you actually, we didn't mention this earlier, but Delaney, like Katherine and Tyler, actually has another short that is playing at the Comedy Film Festival. So I don't know, that leads me to think that you probably have a pretty active online presence as well. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm actually in film school right now, so I'm pumping out a lot of films. That's why I have multiple in the festival this time. But you can find me on Instagram at shenanigans_with_Flanagans. It's a nightmare to spell, so good luck with that. But I'm shooting my thesis film in a couple weeks, which is a murder mystery parody. So look out for that as well.
Wanetah and Jason, I feel like, especially based on the characters that y'all played, there's probably a very vibrant online presence. Do y'all want to plug anything?
Yeah, well, Wanetah has a great, her site, wanetah.com, and then wanetah.com/jackpot is where you can find out what's going on with the film. And then we're both on Instagram as well.
Yeah, and Jason, actually, we make a living on YouTube, so that is very, but it doesn't have anything to do with film right now. But yeah, I'm everywhere on social media, but very hard to find on social media. I'm not very active. I tend to forget about it a lot. But the best place to find me would probably be wanetah.com or wanetah@wanetah.com. Email me like a nerd. I'll respond then. I do check that, so.
Great. Well, people will now be emailing you asking for all your comedy help on the projects. Dylan and Bryan, I know y'all mentioned that y'all are in school right now. We alluded to maybe some other projects. Anything that y'all would like to plug?
We're just gonna go back home this summer and just start writing some more stuff. We've been thinking about some stuff, upcoming stuff. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Dylan Larkin 13. My media company should be in there, and film page. Yeah.
So rounding things out, Christian, you mentioned this little collective that you're a part of. Is there a place where we can find some more information?
There really should be. I just don't know how to make a website, man. It's been taking me forever. So I'm trying to make a website soon, but all my stuff's on my YouTube page, just my name at YouTube. And my Instagram is Captain Brain Milk. And there's just a bunch of weird stuff on there. Always trying to make goofy stuff.
And Wanetah was pointing to Jason, so apparently that's who needs to make your website. So
if you need a website, he's the man. That's how we met, actually. Website.
Wow. Okay. I'm excited to hear more about that. And I guess I'll ask Wanetah in person when we're in Austin as part of the Comedy Film Festival. This block of shorts is represents our sketch block, A Little Sketch, which again is happening Sunday, April 27th at 12:30 at the Galaxy Highland Theater. Thank you everybody for joining me. I love these films. I'm so excited. I love sketch, and I love that we're able to find a block that's just dedicated to it. So thank you. And for those that'll be joining us, see you in Austin. Thanks so much.